Here, make sure you subscribe. Welcome to the program. Everyone like the video. Boy, do we got a lot to talk about today.
Cancel culture against Mike Lindell and MyPillow and get the best night's sleep you have ever gotten in your life. And order your 2-inch MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout.
Welcome, everyone.
K-A-N-E. 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper, but you've got to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Journey wonderful with Celebrity Cruises. Their breathtaking ships have made them the best premium cruise line 10 years in a row. Join Steve Kane.
There's an article I'm looking for
January 28th, 2023 for the 4th annual
that I wanted to start with.
On board the Celebrity Apex for 7 nights to the Eastern Caribbean. We're leaving out of Fort Lauderdale with ports of call, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Tortola, and St. Kitts.
There we go. I was looking for an article that I wanted to talk about.
And tips. For more information and to book your cruise with Steve Kane and Brian Craig, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, 561-244-5779, 561-244-5779. Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
Free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Here we go.
855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's...
Hey guys, welcome to the program. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Oh man, welcome. We've got a lot to talk about. It's being reported this morning that Ukraine has rejected a Russian plan for peace. And let me just go through just here at the top this short article about it, then later on we'll go into some more detail. Become neutral like Sweden or Austria as the warring sides try to hash out a deal to end the bloodshed in Eastern Europe. Moscow is thought to be demanding that Ukraine refuse to join any military alliance or host foreign military bases on its soil in exchange for a ceasefire and withdrawal of Russian troops currently terrorizing Ukraine. But Kiev has said I can't say Kyiv. I know everyone's saying Kyiv now. We've said Kiev in America forever. It's going to stay that way with me. But Kiev has said any deal will need to include security guarantees underwritten by international partners who would agree to come to Ukraine's defense in the event it attacked again. Ukraine's top negotiator said the international community cannot be allowed to stand aside in the event of an attack on Ukraine as they do today. Okay, so this seems insane to me. They want NATO, they want the United States, Ukraine does, to agree to do what we've not done so far, which is the primary cause for the war, which is Putin's paranoia that Ukraine will join the NATO alliance and have backup. If this story is true, and I believe it is, it's being reported in other sources as well, which we'll get into more detail later on. That's a big mistake. Ukraine should accept those terms. Those terms, to me, seem rather reasonable. None of us, we should not be allied. See, Ukraine and Russia are going to have conflict from time to time forever and ever and ever. They've already had conflict forever and ever and ever, and it's never going to end. You know, there are certain conflicts, there's certain groups of people that are never going to get along. And if this story is true, and I believe that it is, that Ukraine has rejected what seems to be a relatively reasonable situation here, they're up to no good. So I want to hear your thoughts on that at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 1-888-465-2631. Also this. There's been some conflict on the show over the last few days between Steve and myself, and those of you that are longtime listeners to the program, I think it's been a long time since Steve and I have disagreed on something major. I don't think we disagree as much as it sounds. I do agree that Putin is wrong, that Putin is a war criminal, that Putin has committed an illegal act, that Russia should withdraw, etc., etc., etc. I believe all that. I agree with that. Where I think we disagree, it sounds as if U.S. involvement on the ground. I don't want the United States or any of our allies involved on the ground militarily. I support giving Ukraine any assistance we can that does not involve people. I'm not opposed to that at all. But I was going to talk to Steve about this before the show, but Steve and I did not talk this morning before the show. We usually do, but today schedules just did not permit, because I was doing a bunch of stuff before the show and it just didn't happen. But I'm going to allow you to comment on this. What are your thoughts on Steve and I having a disagreement over what's going on in this Ukraine-Russian war? What do you think the disagreement really is about? I think the disagreement, and I'll throw this out at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. What I think the division is, there's a couple of things that have Steve and I divided on this. I think that most of you probably know this. Steve does not use the internet. Never has, never will. He does information from non-internet sources, which television and other things, newspapers, New York Post, things like that. I think more of the division is where we get our news and information from, and I think there's a conflict about that between the two of us, and certainly where you get your news, where you get your information, impacts your perspective on things, because none of us are physically there in Ukraine to see it. We only see it through the lens of where we get our news, and that goes for all of you out there too. And with Zelensky's address to the Congress yesterday in that auditorium that I've never seen before. Have any of you ever seen that auditorium? Is that owned by the Congress? It looks like it's owned by the Congress. We both, of course, had completely different reactions to that. I'm not approving of the way Zelenskyy is carrying himself in these addresses to parliaments and to Congress. When he addressed the British Parliament, I guess it was last week, he was quoting Churchill. I don't know who he quoted in Canada. Do the Canadians have any famous Canadians to quote? And I was wondering if he was going to do that here. In fact, I speculated on it yesterday. Who will he quote? Whose words will he steal and use as his own, like he did with Churchill? Because this is the pattern. And he chose someone I didn't think. Martin Luther King. I have a dream, and he changed it to I have a need. By the way, where are the liberals, in particular those in the Congressional Black Caucus and others, attacking Zelenskyy for cultural appropriation, which is a crime in liberal circles? But he used Martin Luther King, and I thought it was inappropriate for him using 9/11 and Pearl Harbor and all of that too. But does he have to wear the green T-shirt? Does he have to wear the green T-shirt? Zelenskyy's television show, where he plays the president of Ukraine, I read this morning, is available on Netflix. I'm going to look for it today and check it out. I'm sure it's in subtitles. I hope it's not dubbed. I prefer subtitles over watching something dubbed, but if it's dubbed, it's dubbed. I'll check it out today. Zelenskyy show. I don't even know what it's called, but I saw that it's back on Netflix. I'm curious to see his talents. I do watch foreign programming. I don't mind. Especially South Korean. South Korea has very good television shows. The K-dramas, they call them, and science fiction dramas, they're very good. But I don't mind subtitles. I watch things with subtitles all the time. So I'll check it out and report back to you on it. You guys can do the same with me. But he is, Zelenskyy obviously is a performer, right? And he's on stage and he's living the dream of every actor. He's having audiences around the world give him standing ovations everywhere he's performed lately, like in the address to Congress yesterday. And it obviously is a performance. It's a theatrical event. And he's growing the beard. He's starting to look a little bit like Castro, tell you the truth. Between the green outfit and the beard, is Zelenskyy starting to look like Castro? Obviously, Zelenskyy could put a suit on, which I think perhaps he should have done. But what he did yesterday was a theatrical presentation. There were very dramatic images of the tragedy in Ukraine. And let me tell you something. What's happening in Ukraine is real. It is not fake. There are people dying. Some of these stories that are coming out, I don't buy. I think there's propaganda coming out from Ukraine and Russia. I seriously question this breadline massacre that I've heard reported now for 18 hours, where the Russian army killed a bunch of people that were in a bread line in Ukraine. I don't believe that is 100% accurate. But the images, we saw the images. They were very dramatic. And then Zelenskyy, of course, in his Castro look, beard and fatigues. And I've talked about this before. Castro always wore the camouflage uniform because Castro was still fighting for the Cuban people. The Cuban Revolution was still continuing. And the fatigues were a symbol of the revolution's not over. We got to continue to fight because once the revolution's over, Castro had promised free and fair elections in Cuba, which they never wanted to do. And Zelenskyy, who you see takes something from Churchill, took something from Martin Luther King yesterday, tried to be a little bit of George W. Bush on September 12th, 13th. But the beard and the fatigues, this is out of Castro's playbook. He's on the field of battle, he's fighting, and here he is. It's very theatrical, it's very dramatic, and very emotional. And, and the images do have an impact on me, like I know they have an impact on all of you. Of course they do. We're humans. It's suffering. The people of Ukraine are suffering. But what we're hearing, the peace proposal from Russia is not entirely unreasonable. And, maybe there's room for negotiations. But for Ukraine just to reject it, and add really a demand that they know will never be agreed to by Russia, and that is allow Ukraine to join NATO or have some other alliance with the West. That's just that's not going to happen. Russia will never agree with that. That's why they did what they did. That's their biggest gripe. They were fearful of that. So it seems to me that Zelenskyy has set a situation up to prolong the war, prolong the fighting, prolong the suffering and tragedy. That's my opinion. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to hear what you all think, but we got to take a break first. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our first break of this Thursday morning edition of the program and be back after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Traveling, you need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test.
Steve Kane Show.
Stop by any lab test.
Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Oh, boy.
Any lab test now at Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza. where Whistler Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009.
That's right.
Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Wisconsin Gary's on deck first. No, we have two openings on the board right now. 1-888-465-2631. Two openings. I just put the number at the top. Oh, one opening. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Medicare applications. They'll even help when you're in the hospital. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Let them be your golden guardians. Contact I Will Advocates right now.
Steve Kane Show.
At iwilladvocates.com.
Steve Kane Show.
954-345-1214.
Hold on.
No matter where you're located throughout the state of Florida or nationwide. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Oh, man. Hey, guys. Welcome back. 17 minutes after the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. That's right. My name is Brian Craig. Let's go to Wisconsin Gary. Hey, Wisconsin Gary.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Well, I'm stuck in traffic right now, but that's the way of trucking life. But, you kind of mentioned a little earlier, about the disagreement between you and Steve had. That's the beauty of the Constitution, that, the freedom of speech, because, some of us might be on the same page with a lot of issues, but we're always going to have different various opinions on something else that might not be. I mean, like I said, Steve might say potato, you might say potato. It's just...
Well, no, Fred, the Constitution doesn't apply. I work for Steve here on the program, so Steve could tell me no more of this. He could tell me that he has not done that.
But I mean, it's like I said, I think Steve, how can I put this really lightly? Steve trusts in you a lot. And, sometimes for how people can feel passionate about a certain thing, because I know Steve has a family member in the military, so he might feel objective on one thing about something compared.
Well, let me tell you this, Gary. Steve has a son who is deployed, and he is closer to the combat in Ukraine than I am to you right now, wherever you are on the road. So so he's there, and that's one thing that really surprises me, because Steve's not really crazy about his son being in the Army. He was kind of hoping he'd go Air Force or maybe Coast Guard or something. He wanted an Army career. He's a tank commander and all this stuff now. And I thought Steve would have a very strong anti-war position, since he's got a son that's nearby.
Right. And a lot of people, when their sons and daughters enlist, I mean, granted, it's really up to them, what they want to do in the military. And for some of people like Steve's son, who's a military tank commander, I mean, that's really kind of getting close into the lines if you're needed there. Some people choose other jobs in the military that just to stay away from war, period. But, I mean, that's what some may want to do, or the parents might want to do that are in the military, and that's what this...
Well, it looks like it's being reported today that Ukraine was offered a peace deal with Russia, by Russia, and Ukraine just rejected it on the face of it. Didn't even attempt to negotiate and put up a condition that they know the Russians will never agree to, and that is Ukraine wants assurances from the United States and NATO that they can join the military alliance. It seems to me at this point Zelenskyy is refusing to end the war. I think the agreement seemed somewhat reasonable to me that Russia proposed.
The way it sounds like, yes, it was. But, like what's been said in past amount of weeks and before even any of this happened of how corrupt at the time the UK was, and it's, I don't know, to me there's just something more to this that with Russia and Ukraine that meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Until that truth really comes out, we don't know. We just can only go off of what the news media says and hopefully trust them, but a lot of us don't even trust news media. I mean, there's a lot of things that should be covered that it's not even remotely being covered.
Mm-hmm.
There's the things that happened with Biden and his son that's not being mentioned anymore. You still have Hunter Biden. You still got the border. They're just trying to spin this narrative so bad to get off the narrative and stay on this Ukraine-Russia narrative, and it's just not right, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, we're being attacked through the Mexican border. People are crime victims every day in this country by people that are here illegally. It's not as violent on the scale that Ukraine is dealing with, but for these people to talk about the sovereignty of Ukrainians' borders when we don't even have a southern border, it's a joke.
Right. It's all a joke. But the one last thing I want to kind of mention is you got me by a couple dog hairs and cat hair whiskers for the My Pillow stuff, so leaving you stay in the lead.
Oh, yeah, I was talking, appreciate the call. I was talking yesterday, Wisconsin Gary and I are in competition to which of our houses have the most My Pillow products in them, and he says I'm in the lead because he doesn't have the My Pillow pet beds, which I have 2 of them. Yeah, well, hey, my house is a big My Pillow. It's like a Mike Lindell museum at my house. I've got all the products. Oh, man. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. How you doing?
I don't think it's an accident that he gave the 2 speeches that he gave Zelenskyy here and in England. Basically, think about this. He basically plagiarized those speeches.
Yeah, just like Biden. Maybe he's trying to get Biden on his side because he's a plagiarist, Biden.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. You took the words right out of my mouth, And that's the thing. I mean, look, in terms of that, I mean, you might be right about that, but then again, I think Zelenskyy still wants to be. He may say he doesn't want to be in NATO or in the EU, but I think he wants to be in one or the other. But that's not going to happen. But he himself wants it, and you're right about him dressing the way he dresses.
Yeah, it's obviously, listen, what's happening in Ukraine is really happening. I'm not crazy. But Zelenskyy is putting on a very theatrical production with not shaving, the green camouflage all the time. He could have cleaned himself up to address the Congress of the United States yesterday, in my opinion.
Sure, and that's the thing, and think about this. You're talking about you disagreeing with Steve about different things, but remember what Hillary Clinton said at the height of the Iraq War, and she was talking about if you debating and disagreeing with the government, and we have that right to do that, and that's the thing. We have the right to. The Constitution gives us the right to debate and disagree with,
the government. Well, but I think Hillary Clinton and the Democrats don't agree with that anymore. In fact, if you disagree with the government, they want to brand you, a domestic enemy.
And they're trying to do that with let's just call her what she was, Ashley Babbitt. She probably shouldn't have went in that window, but that's neither here nor there. They're trying to do that with the people in the D.C. Gitmo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know a lot of people will say you're giving him a hard time for being an actor. Ronald Reagan was an actor. I'm sure people are thinking that. Ronald Reagan was an actor, but he wasn't really that good. I mean, have you seen any of his movies? I mean, Ronald Reagan was mediocre as an actor. And if you ever seen any of his movies, he was not good. But his acting ability helped him with his public speaking. But I didn't really see him put on a show like this guy's doing with the unshaved, like he's practically from a foxhole, you know.
Other than the fact that when he took there was one of the things when he showed up in Congress and he took a big stack of papers, which was the government thing, and stuck it on the account.
Yeah.
Like that, and that was basically him doing his act.
Now let me ask you this question. I'm going to throw out a question for people to call in about, and I'm going to ask you the question first. And this question, I'm throwing this out to everyone who's listening to this program to call and give me your answer. In this war, this Russian-Ukraine war, which side, if any, do you want to win?
I would like to see Ukraine win, but not this way.
Not this way? What does that mean? Not this way.
Not the way that Zelensky's trying to go.
Oh. So you want Ukraine to win? Okay. All right. Maybe I should keep track of this. Maybe we should do a poll today and find out who which side everyone wants to win this. Okay? So you'll be the first vote. I'll put you down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put Ukraine and Russia, and we've got one vote for Ukraine to win. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. All right, Mike in Louisiana. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys, and call and let me know, and then we'll do a poll here, an informal poll here on the Steve Kane Show. Who do you want to win in this war? Which side are you rooting for, Ukraine or Russia? Okay, Mike in Louisiana, he's rooting for Ukraine. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Nick in Baltimore. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Listen, I didn't see the infomercial with Zelenskyy and acting President Pelosi. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it was a show, like you said.
Yes.
I just want to mention one thing here, just to set the stage here, and then I'll get off. And that is that we have to be careful. This is a trap by the Democrats, because what's going to happen? You have all these warmongers who are on Fox. I watched Tucker last night, right? And he was interviewing this congresswoman from Florida. And she's all for the no-fly zone, and then she denied it, and then they went back and...
Yeah, I saw some of that this morning.
Yeah, he really filleted her, I think. But, here's the thing, what's going to happen, what the Republicans have to watch out for, the Democrats are going to turn this around on the Republicans. They're going to say, see, they got it, they're pushing this war, and Biden's going to, they're going to survive this. This is all being choreographed, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not.
Yeah, there's when you watch the standing ovation of Congress yesterday, Pelosi was clapping the loudest and with the most excitement. I mean, Kevin McCarthy got up next to her, but yeah. So which side in this war do you want to win, Russia or Ukraine?
I want the United States to win.
No, that's another one. That means stay out of it, right? Yeah, you're neutral. Yeah, I'm neutral too, and I'll tell you, maybe I should put another one in there for neutral. Yeah, I'll put you down because I'm very concerned here, and I'll tell you, we were talking yesterday about the bill. Biden's approving, and I don't know how much he said yesterday, some huge number. Why do they need to spend that money on equipment? Don't we have the amount of equipment they need? Don't we have that already in our inventory? Can't we just send it over there immediately and then replenish what we have? You understand what I mean? The tank rockets, all this stuff. We've got to have warehouses and warehouses, probably right there in Europe already, that are loaded with all of this material. Why don't we just give it to them? Instead, but they got to order new. I mean, what's the time? This $800 billion, whatever the outrageous number is. What is the time frame after they get this signed and done till delivery? To me, you could send cargo planes filled with this stuff right to the border and have the Ukrainians come over and get it.
Democrat voters out there who voted for Biden, the few of you that did, here's the thing. He's sending natural gas reserves to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Out yesterday, I was watching, Newsmax has the ticker at the bottom.
Yeah.
All that.
When Biden, I guess it's been about 2 weeks now or so, cut off the banking for Russia, it was only 80% of the international banking. Have they expanded that? All these Russians have just moved to those other 20% of the banks. Why have they not closed down all the banks? See, what's going on here, I was listening to Steve Bannon last night, and he was talking, he's very dangerous because there's no leadership. They're calling him a war criminal, they're doing sanctions, but what's the next step? We don't have a leader taking a step, doing anything. It's just spending money and handing out bills. There's no movement by the United States with this. All right, hey, Nick in Baltimore, thanks for the call. Okay, so which side do you want to win this? Ukraine, Russia, or remain neutral, which means we're Switzerland? 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs,
Steve Kane Show.
Tile systems. Our building restoration offers
Steve Kane Show.
envelope protection to include siding,
Hello.
stucco, concrete restoration,
See, the trolls are out.
doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602.
Steve Kane Show.
That number again
Hold on.
is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Now, Jacqueline, you were talking about the video of your husband's testimony. Do you have a link with that? Because if you have a link of it and you put it in the chat here, I'll pin it to the top. Steve Kane Show. Hey, hold on. So if you have a link to it, Jacqueline, and you post it in the chat, I'll pin it at the top instead of the phone number. But in case I miss it when you put it in the chat, I'll try to keep an eye on it. You might have to do it more than once. I look at the chat, but when I'm on the air between and I'm not in a break, I don't pay as close attention. But again, if you put the link right there, I'll pin it. Yeah.
Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to
Of course, Jacqueline, no problem.
Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
Okay. All right, I just pinned it. Let me see if it worked. All righty, welcome back. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey, Jeff from Maine. What's up?
Zelenskyy was one of the good guys because Ukraine's got the same thing going on as in our government. Why would he be asking Biden for help? if he knows that Biden is corrupt. You know, he's just another extension of Obama.
Yeah. Well, because Biden, well, you know, because Biden's got to sign off on it. He may be corrupt, but it's his signature is required.
Zelensky's not corrupt. Why would Biden help him?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but as senator, Obama in 2005 was in the Ukraine and funded a bioweapon lab.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Act with the
Yeah, but, you know, it may be corrupt. It may be the U.S. It's not for Putin to decide that the United States has gone over the line and take action. So even if all those things are true, those if they're true, and I don't know 100%, I think there's a lot of truth to it, no doubt about it. But those are still American facilities, and Putin. It's not up to Putin to invade a country to take out American facilities. So I would not support that. I don't care who put them there. I don't care if Fauci put them there with Obama in person. I wouldn't support Putin coming in attacking any American facility.
They were getting...
Now, that we were going to attack Russia, I don't think so. Ukraine? Well, what I believe is that those facilities, whatever I was talking to a caller about this the other day, and she got very upset with me. But whatever those facilities are, and we don't really know 100%, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle like everything else, but they were there during Trump's first term, and I am of the opinion that Trump knows everything that's going on, and he knew about them.
President Trump called Zelenskyy one of the good guys.
Well, he backed him up with the Vindman issue.
So, you know, I'm really kind of on the fence with Zelenskyy because I don't really see...
Well, Zelenskyy will be on whatever side is in charge at the time. So he was with Trump, but not because he liked Trump necessarily, but Trump was the man, the president, and he needed Trump. And now he needs Biden, so he's on Biden's side.
That's a great point, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Lindsey Graham. He doesn't really stand for anything or with anyone. But what side do you want to win this, Russia or Ukraine?
You know, are we getting the correct information about what's going on in Ukraine, and do we?
No, we're not getting correct information. I mean, there's propaganda coming from both sides. But which side do you want to win based on what you know and believe to be true, Russia or Ukraine?
I believe Ukraine.
Okay, there you go. That's my position too. I'm not putting myself down as a vote on that, but I do. Yeah, but they were invaded in an unprovoked attack. So yes, I am on the side of Ukraine in this. I just don't want the United States involved in the Third World War. And I'll tell you, Zelenskyy is pushing hard for this no-fly zone because he wants the United States involved in a military conflict with Russia, and you know, if World War III were to break out, I know Zelenskyy says it already has, but if World War III broke out, Ukraine would collapse, right? Where would Zelenskyy be? Would he still be over there in the camouflage, or would he be at a mansion in Miami Beach?
I'm glad you brought that up about how he's dressing, because only bad presidents and leaders wear camouflage when they're on TV. Most presidents wear a suit and look very professional. So,
yeah,
red flag about him, because he never served in the military.
Well, he's their commander-in-chief, I guess. You know, I think he's modeling himself after two people, okay? One is Fidel Castro, the green clothes and the beard, okay? One's Fidel Castro, and the other one is President Whitmore. You know who President Whitmore is? President Whitmore was the president in Independence Day, you know, who took a fighter jet up at the end to fight the Russians, if you remember. And he's an actor. He's a performer. So, yeah.
Do it. He's just an actor, and he's trying to look important.
Do you think you think he should have put a suit on yesterday?
It would look more professional to me.
Yeah. And instead of wanting to look like Fidel, he wants to look like Fidel Castro.
It's not the proper image.
I thought that the Congress was too excited at the end. Yeah.
That seems very strange to me, Brian.
Well, because they want to get this bill passed so they can get all the money.
Well, I thought Pelosi in the dead of night passed that trillions dollars package in the dead of night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they're trying to pass another one. Yeah. And the Judas. Yeah.
Want to fight? They don't even want a discussion about anything. They just want to pack their agenda.
Lindsey Graham, was coming out yesterday talking about removing Putin. A story came out yesterday that Lindsey Graham on January 6th wanted Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove President Trump from office. Just came out yesterday. I've seen it reported in multiple sources. And Lindsey Graham, who wants to remove Putin now, which I think is a very dangerous thing because we don't know who would replace Putin. They might be worse.
If Putin's not there, you're going to have someone way...
Steve and I were friends with Eldridge Cleaver from the Black Panthers. And I don't know if you guys remember Eldridge Cleaver and the Black Panthers back in the 60s. And Eldridge Cleaver was involved in this Black Panther ambush. He was reformed and done his time and became a Republican conservative by the time, But and Steve and I had dinner with Eldridge Cleaver at a bowling alley. Believe it's a strange place to be, but they were a sponsor at the time, a restaurant in the bowling alley. But anyway, Eldridge Cleaver was involved in this big ambush of police officers in Oakland, California. It was a big deal. I learned about it in social studies in middle school. And he said that they spent weeks planning the ambush. But they didn't spend one moment planning the getaway. And they got busted, And that's an important point to take here. Everyone's talking about removing Putin, but they're not talking about what happens after. There's no plan for that after. And Russia has a history that's not good. They've never been a democracy. It's always been a violent place with violent leaders. And who's ever coming up next could be much worse. Who knows? And they could splinter into 5 more countries. Who knows what would happen? And I think it's very irresponsible to go out and say remove this guy from office when you have no planning for what the aftermath would be. And furthermore, Lindsey Graham, who wants to remove Putin from office on January 6th, wanted Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove our great president Donald Trump from office. So I think I think those two incidents with Lindsey Graham are important. And he said yesterday, if John McCain were here, he would be agreeing with me. I'm sure he would, John McCain. I'm sure he would.
One more point. As much as we agree on what would happen if Putin was removed, would get someone much worse, I say the same thing if Biden's removed, because we know Harris is gone.
Exactly. That's a great point. Would we be better off with Kamala or Biden? And I would say Biden, based on what I've seen in the last week. All right, Jeff in Maine, I got a break. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Hi, folks. Dr. Matez here, now with the Biostation West Delray. At Biostation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of...
Anyone know Eldridge Cleaver? Very
That's
famous.
just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly...
Well, my wife, a scooter, Brian Craig, a dollar amount for that scooter? I don't know the dollar amount. My wife gave it to me as a gift, but it was less than $2,000. I know that. Well under $2,000. I put Jacqueline's husband's testimony link, pinned it in the chat. You'll have to copy and paste that link. It's not a clickable link, so you'll have to copy and paste it. I know, wasn't it great? Did you guys see my video yesterday of getting gas? I made a vlog yesterday getting gas in my car. Yeah, if you send Jacqueline, if you send a clickable link, I'll pin that one. Maybe open it up in your browser, Jacqueline, and then copy and paste it directly from your browser, and that'll be a clickable link, and then I'll replace the pin with that. Yeah, I'm going to do more vlogging. I like vlogging. I got another channel, but I'm going to start doing more vlogging on this channel. Alrighty, welcome back. Oh man, 47 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, caller. Yes, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Andrew in Michigan. What's on your mind? Yeah, Ukraine or Russia? Yeah, but you must, at this point, you must have an idea of which side you believe is the right side in this. Russia or Ukraine? Okay, good. Okay, so we got, so far, everyone's saying Ukraine over Russia. We don't have one vote for Russia to win. Okay, I'm all ears. I'm listening. Well, yeah, I do, but we don't want to go through all the history of Ukraine and Russia on the radio right now. That would turn the audience away and bore people to death. But
I won't do that. I won't do that because I want to get back right to our situation. We had 2.5 million votes that were.
Are you talking about you're going back to the Ukraine? Nah, we're not going to go through the whole history of Ukraine and Russia. That would be very boring. Good morning, you're on the air. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
South Carolina.
Sam in South Carolina. What's on your mind?
Hey, I agree with what you were just talking about a minute ago. And both lose, actually. I mean, Stalin, Khrushchev, all of them was far worse than Putin. But a lot of people don't understand the way, like you're talking about history, you don't want to get into in the past. But yesterday, on top of that, Xi Jinping told his People's Republic of China openly in their parliament that they plan on moving into.
Yes, that's right.
Just said anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know, Stalin I mean, he did a huge purge of his own people, and I get that. But what's going on, I mean, you're going to compare massacres. There's a massacre going on in Ukraine right now. I mean, you agree with that, right? I mean, which side, between Russia and Ukraine, which side would you like to see be victorious here?
Neither. I'm neutral.
Really? You now, come on. Come on.
No one overtook the other.
So that would be on Ukraine. Then you're rooting for Ukraine. Ukraine does not have territorial goals here. They just, you know, they want Russia out and some other things.
I'm like I said, I still think the bigger picture, that a lot of people ain't even paying attention.
Well, you know, all of this, all these sanctions against Russia and everything, if China has got their back, and President Trump has said that Russia and China are working together here, Russia makes everything that we consume here. So what? I know that there's some problems with their oil because the only thing they export is oil. But China could keep Russia afloat forever. The sanctions, they could adapt with China. Back in the Cold War era, China wasn't what it is today so far as manufacturing. So the goods and services that we may embargo from Russia, they could get from China because we get them from China. All right, take care. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, how you doing?
Hey, Marie in Florida, what's up?
Yes. Listen, I support the people of Ukraine because
Jacqueline, if you put in that clickable link, I'll replace the pin at the top.
It's a shame that they have to be killed because they want to save their country.
I'm not muting the callers.
But I do not support somebody coming to our country talking about Pearl Harbor and 9/11. No, I don't support that.
Okay, now let me slow down a second here. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people didn't like the, what Zelenskyy has been doing in his global tour here via Zoom is, he used Churchill with the Brits, with the Canadians. I don't know if they have heroes and icons that rise to the level of Churchill. So I don't know what he did there. But yesterday he used Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, and then he said, remember Pearl Harbor, and then 9/11. But you think it was inappropriate for him to reference Pearl Harbor or 9/11? Why?
Because I don't think that's not the conversation that you should do. Okay, to me, when you put that in the conversation like that, you are trying to get sympathy and trying to bully your way and try to dictate what you should get.
Well, he was trying to tug at heartstrings. I mean, the video that he showed of it was, from Ukraine was very dramatic, with babies and things. It was hard to watch, and it was meant to disturb you. He was, and then invoking these things, 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. I think Pearl Harbor's fine. I mean, Pearl Harbor was a sneak attack. They were attacked, and so I think there's a comparison between the Russian attack on Ukraine and Pearl Harbor. It's a similar thing. I don't think that's inappropriate. What I didn't like is it was a very theatrical production. There have been other leaders that have addressed Congress. I've seen this, Netanyahu and people, but this was different, right? He's in the costume, right? The Fidel Castro costume that he's wearing showed the very upsetting photographs and video from Ukraine, and then invokes Martin Luther King, who no one's going to be critical of Martin Luther King, and then invokes two major tragedies in this country, 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. It was a theatrical production, and the Fox News and mainstream corporate media response to it, I mean, they were giving this guy Oscars yesterday for,
Yeah, honestly, I cannot believe it, but here lately, I turned off. I was watching Fox News. I don't now. I can't do that.
Well, I found a new news outlet that yesterday that's not on my cable system, but I downloaded the app on my Apple TV, and it's on many of your cable systems, including the Dish Network, and it's on Roku, and I have it on my living room TV. It's called Real America's Voice, and you can find it on Roku and on Apple TV. You've got to search for America's Voice. Drop the real. It took me a while to figure that out. America's Voice. And it is very good. They have Steve Bannon and a lot of other people over there. It's very good.
Yeah, it's the guy that was in. I remember when he was in a campaign, and not really in the campaign. 2016, he was hosting the show, and the show used to come on. It used to come on Dish Network. Now it don't, but it was coming on Dish Network. But he is an older guy. I don't know. I forgot his name, but he was hosting the show. And it was Real America. Now it's America's Show. Very good show.
Yeah, Real America's Voice. And I started watching it yesterday, and I was like hooked. It is very, very good. And you can download the app. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's completely free. You don't have to pay. America's Voice, and I like it, and it's between that and Newsmax, I'm set. I have no use really for Fox News, and they were talking about the things from the perspective that I mean obviously I agree with the perspective or narrative that they had on all the issues yesterday. They had James O'Keefe on yesterday, and I thought Real America's Voice is just I have heard it referenced from time to time over the last few months, but I didn't know how to get it until a guy called in at the end of yesterday's show, and then I downloaded it, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's also on. It comes on. It's actually on now on Dish 219.
Yeah, not DirecTV, Dish Network. Yeah, it's on some cable systems too, but you can get the app for free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. It's on Roku and on Apple TV too, and they're talking. I mean, it's very, very good. And I was watching. Bannon had some dealings yesterday with but in the morning, but he was on in the afternoon talking about the day's events around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I don't remember what time he came on, and it was 5 o'clock. It was fascinating to hear Steve Bannon's perspective on yesterday's events and what's going on. Yeah.
Angry. He was not happy at all. He said, "Are you kidding me?" But I want to talk about that issue with Mr. Grant. I knew with all my heart that this guy was a snake. I knew.
Who's that? Zelenskyy?
No.
Oh, Lindsey Graham. Yeah. And I tell you, one person I don't want to be critical of, but Steve Scalise. Remember that Bernie Sanders supporter shot Steve Scalise, and I've got a lot of respect for Steve Scalise. Okay, but he was, I saw him first, and he was wearing that pin that all the congressmen were wearing, of the American and Ukrainian flag on one pin, side by side. I mean, I'm very much opposed to any U.S. involvement in this. Hey, listen, Maria, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right, listen, before we break here for the top of the hour, I just want to take a moment to tell you about the great specials with at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. Save up to 66% off. The towels, normally $109.98, just $39.99 with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow, My Slippers, 50% off. And right now, the most comfortable mattress topper you will ever own, the MyPillow mattress topper, right there at MyPillow.com, 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, for the MyPillow mattress topper. The MyPillow mattress topper will change your life. It's changed mine. I've been sleeping on it for almost a year now, and it is wonderful. So go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Kane at checkout. Take advantage of all the specials, all the deals there. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you
Steve
can
Kane Show.
trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes, and that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in West.
Yeah, Jacqueline, if you could put the clickable link in there, or if I can't do it. I can't copy and paste that link on my iPad. I will pin it. Let me see if I can write it down and do it.
And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, says, "You don't need brakes," and I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hosed.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine.
I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see.
We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, they're crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive, Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245.
Now you're gonna have to put the clickable link in there for me. I can't do it.
8101.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Let me try that one.
Protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets.
Okay, let me try that one, Jacqueline.
Greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
All right, I just replaced the pen.
You are listening
All right, here we go.
Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888. That's 1-888 Cocaine 1. And now.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Yes, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio, the Steve Kane Show. That's right, this year. That's right, 1977. That's a long time, and still going strong, and I've been with the show most of that time, which is, I got to stop saying that, because it makes me sound old. Welcome back, everyone. Some great calls in the first hour, by the way. Interesting comments, and I can say that every call in the first hour actually added something to the conversation, which is something I don't often say about every call. Every call in the first hour added something interesting and constructive to the conversation. Some more interesting and constructive than others, but interesting and constructive. All of them were, just at different degrees of effectiveness. Welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. It is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Our number toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE-1. I started the show at 6. Let me recap. Russia has offered a peace deal to Ukraine, and Ukraine has rejected it. That's right. Ukraine rejected a Russian plan to become a neutral nation like Sweden or Austria, as the warring sides try to hash out a deal to end the bloodshed in Eastern Europe. Moscow is thought to be demanding that Ukraine refuse to join, who would agree to come to Ukraine's defense in the event it's attacked again, because they have no backup now. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is the Russian? Do you believe that the Russian peace proposal is reasonable or not? Why do you think Ukraine rejected? I know they want them to also recognize Crimea, and they want that one region to be independent. I understand there's a couple of other things there, but Ukraine is on the verge of complete collapse and no longer existing as its own sovereign nation. To me, on the face of it, it seems that Ukraine has put up a condition that they know the Russians will never agree to, and that is them forming a military alliance with the West. Ukraine, to me, it seems, has rejected. There was some room to negotiate, but they put something in there that's not negotiable, and they know it from Russia. So let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is our number. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Richie the bus driver.
I'm 100% with Steve on this, and I was trying to wait as long as I could so I could get on the air with Steve. So, because after almost 3 hours of people that, like Mike, I don't think Mike from Louisiana, I don't think he's ever disagreed with you in one call since I've been listening to this guy. You're like the puppet string, and he's ventriloquist, and he's out there, whatever you say, that's 100%. You got the guy from Maine the same crap. Listen, here's the fact, people out there. This president that was in fatigues, that's why Steve gets ticked with you, because your little cuteness with this, he's in fatigues. And the other guy says, well, he should be in a suit and tie. What about a tuxedo? It looks like giving you
Yeah, why not? Why not? Dressed like Downton Abbey. No, do you think that Zelenskyy looked a little bit like Castro yesterday?
I think that the conditions there, he can talk. At this point, he can wear a clown costume. It doesn't matter. He's being attacked by a homicidal maniac who's destroying not just buildings, people, babies. You don't agree with that bread line, but you have independent reporters that have.
Okay, the bread. Okay, this is one. Okay, now again. The Breadline Massacre has the first time I heard it was Harris Faulkner yesterday on Outnumbered. So that's like noon, 1 o'clock. Okay, I think that's the hottest story in Ukraine right now. Why have they not gone to the site of the Breadline Massacre and shown it to us? No, I believe I'm not saying there's no war. I'm not crazy. I'm not saying this is staged blue screen, green screen thing going on here. But the idea that Russian troops mowed down people in a bread line in Ukraine just seems a little bit over the line to me. Of believability, to be believable.
I don't know what to say about you. You know, they also showed a satellite of the theater, and they had it on both sides in Russian. Children on both sides, kids in there.
You know, I agree with you. I want the war to end. I want Russia out. But yesterday, Russia gave a peace proposal that not only did Ukraine completely reject, they added a condition that they know Russia will never agree to, being allowed to join NATO.
I'll discuss that with you, okay? You got. I'm going to try to let your audience realize what the hell's going on here. Putin has already lost the war because what he has done to these people in that country on his border, he should be more worried about what's the reaction he's going to get for the rest of his life and Russian reaction to that country with this murdering that's going on here, this just destruction and murder of kids and babies and old people, and there'll be people that will never forgive this. You have Afro-Americans in this country. There was slavery, okay? Slavery was one of the most disgusting things you could have ever done. They still, after over 100 years, not every one of them have forgiven white people in this country for the same thing. Now, if we were murdering blacks, they would never forgive us. And now you got a country, you got Putin out there just like he's like Charles Manson with weapons, and he's just wiping everybody out. And you're sitting there. We shouldn't get involved. We shouldn't put boots on the ground. Nobody. I repeat.
No, but we should fly in. You know, listen. Yesterday, Biden's talking about an $800 billion spending package. Okay, why don't all the equipment they need we have, and on bases throughout the world, and I'm sure a whole bunch of it's already in Europe. Why don't we just give them the equipment and then just replenish our own supply? This expenditure thing is a long process. Cut the red tape. If it's so vital, why are they not cutting the red tape?
Well, I'll tell you why. You got a guy in the White House where we'll both agree this is such an embarrassment. A stumbling old man who doesn't know what the hell he's getting off a lot more than he can chew. He looks very confused. He looks like he's out of it. He looks like did you yesterday in that clip at the White House when he called Putin a war criminal and that Secret Service man not only walked away with him but had his arms around him, around his back? That was very strange. The whole thing is strange. All I'm saying is this: for those who think that the theatrics were too much yesterday, including you and your puppet callers, okay? fact of the matter is,
Puppets,
the
you're
man
puppets.
is desperate. He's begging the world to give him some weapons to fight this animal off. He should not have to accept from a foreign invader who's killing his people terms that he'll never join, and like the rest of Europe, because this guy, nobody could ever trust Russia again, my friend. So if he signs something like that, he's putting himself out there for any time a Russian president wants to invade. Hey, well, they'll just do it again. And this is a one-time deal where everyone in that country is getting wiped.
Well, what I'm telling you is, listen, I'm on the side of Ukraine. I want Ukraine to be victorious, and I want Putin out. But here's the deal: this crap yesterday. The first thing I told you, Biden and Pelosi, they could cut the red tape, and we have all the weapons and all the equipment they need already. Not just the MiGs. We have the anti-tank weapons, the anti-aircraft weapons. We have the ammunition. We could give it to them today. Putting it in a bill is just a Washington money grab, and there's a lot of process and red tape. And then what are they going to do? Order this equipment and wait for it to be delivered? I mean, this is insanity when we have it in stock already, ready for immediate delivery, all this equipment. And
stuff, that's where the money's coming in.
I don't see that. I haven't seen anybody talk about that except me. Okay, that's one thing. I got another thing, too. Zelensky's television show that he was starring in as president of Ukraine is on Netflix right now. That is going to be, I'm going to check it out today. If it's on Netflix US, I'm going to check it out today. That is going to be the most watched streaming program in the history of the internet because of what's going on. Zelensky is going to be making boatloads of money off of that. Okay, it's going to become the #1 most streamed thing on the planet. Netflix might break over this. I'd like to see next time that he comes out in his Castro getup announce that he is donating all of the royalties that he's earning off of Netflix worldwide right now, which is a lot of money, to his people.
Something out of you, and I just would like you to be honest, because you always are.
I'm always honest.
Whether I agree with you or not, you're 100% honest. That's what ticks me off. I think sometimes, what are you thinking about? I can understand. Nobody wants boots on the ground. I don't want to see Americans dying over there. So let that be straight up. I want to help people that are getting slaughtered by a maniac, and I know that what he did yesterday with quoting Martin Luther King and all this other stuff was to get at our emotions because he's desperate because his people are getting slaughtered in the streets. How do you think those reporters died?
I know.
They weren't near any military, the reporters. Here's the thing I want to ask you: if you're in Boca Raton, right? And you got a homicidal maniac going one house after another, just blowing the house off the face of the earth, and you know what's coming. Would Brian Craig and plead for help from an outside source?
I call it. Yeah, yes. In fact, I would call 911. Yes. But I don't. But that's not. That's a terrible analogy. You know, if we do Zelensky yesterday, well, we're not 911 for Ukraine. Zelensky yesterday Zelensky yesterday did one. They've rejected the Russian peace plan on its face, no negotiating. And I know it's not a perfect plan in that keeping that one region.
Canada accept.
Well, there's a difference between listen. Right now, why should a sovereign nation surrender? Because it's not going to exist soon. What the situation Ukraine is in right now is the situation Germany was in 1945. They're on the verge of no longer being a country. They're on the verge of collapse. Yeah. He was one of the big guys. Trump was always talking about him.
And he says that Putin's losing this war. If Putin is losing, he can't win no matter what.
Well, this is the war. This is what it is. Okay, there's that old saying: you win the battle but lose the war. He's obviously setting himself up to have a forever insurgency in Ukraine, like we had in Iraq and Afghanistan and things over the years. There's no doubt about it. But I don't trust any of these military people on television. They all have conflicting interests with jobs in the military-industrial industry, you know, and I don't trust them. So that's that on that. But what Ukraine did with the peace proposal, I understand it wasn't perfect, and that carving out that one region of Ukraine is up for negotiation. Well, we don't want them in NATO. We do not want Ukraine in NATO. Well, who's our closest ally in the Middle East? Israel, right? Israel. Israel is a great country and very important friend and ally of the United States. When we're involved in military actions, does Israel fight with us? They don't. They don't, and it's not that they're bad people. The reason that is there's so much anti-Semitism in these other countries. If Israel fought side by side with us in Iraq or Afghanistan, that would so enrage the Muslim world that it would rise to World War III levels, okay? So they're our close friend, ally, and partner. And our closest ally in the Middle East, still people say that today. But they don't fight alongside of us because of what that would cause other countries. That's a similar thing with Ukraine. Ukraine and Russia will be in life forever throughout history, will have conflict. You don't want to have an alliance with a country that is going to that you've got to back up, that's going to be in a constant state of chaos with their neighbor, Russia. It's just not smart.
Between conflict and hatred. And right now, Putin has created the most hatred a human being could.
Well, look at Israel. Look at Israel has fought multiple wars with the Arabs over the years, and they've been in a constant state of conflict with the Palestinians. And what we've always done with Israel is arm them to the teeth. They have nukes. They have a modern air force like ours, not jets from 1983 like these MiGs. They have a modern military. They even train with us. We don't get involved there on the ground with these conflicts that Israel has. They take care of themselves with American training and might that we give them. Well, that's what I suggest. We need to get things cooled off in Ukraine with Russia and arm them up and set them up like we've done Israel. But Biden and Biden, Pelosi, and McCarthy, all they want is this money grab with these spending bills, as opposed to actually taking the lead and doing something like we're talking about, Richie.
Biden can't take the lead because he's incoherent.
Well, he's I hate to say this, I really do, but he's the president. He has to be the leader.
And everyone sees it now. That's why everyone's blowing him off. That's the fact of the matter is the guy's a walking zombie, and everyone sees it.
Yes.
See it, and you're a Democrat. You're a blind person. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. All right, Richie. I got to run for a break. Thanks for the call. Good call with Richie. All right. 20 minutes after the hour, you are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Back after this.
This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going for now, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man, and Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do.
Steve Kane Show.
Even know it. Do you have have numbness, pain,
Hold on.
burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness? Loss of balance? Muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, 22 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Oh, on Saturday, there's a new show debuting right here on all of our radio stations and iHeartRadio and the TuneIn app. Now, Al Knight. You guys know Al Knight. Al Knight's been around in talk radio for a long, long time, and many other radio stations too, right? He's been a disc jockey on all the different formats you can imagine. He's done everything but Spanish language. But he's been doing the show here for quite some time with my therapist and Steve Kane's therapist, and many of your therapists too, Dr. Janae Lemaski, at 11 a.m. Saturdays on our radio station. Starting this week, Al Knight at noon will debut his own radio show. Now, I don't know what the format is going to be. I don't know what the subject matter will be. I don't know what the theme, if any, it will be, but I know I'll be listening. It'll be interesting. So, high noon Saturdays, starting this Saturday, right after Dr. Lemaski, you can catch Al Knight flying solo on his program. And for those of you that remember Craig Worthing, remember he was with Craig Worthing for many, many years? Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, let's go to our phones. You're on the air. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Andrea. What's up?
A couple of things. Yesterday, I said to you that they put the abortion thing in the new bill.
Yes.
I found the video. It's the Newsmax video with Glenn Grossman, and the Dems split the sanctions and on the Russian bill.
Okay.
That's where they put the sanctions in for countries who do not believe in abortion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If Richie is mad at you, he's really going to be mad at me.
Okay.
Because I think what you saw yesterday was a very large, probably the best theatrical production of Zelensky's career. And the fact that our politicians clap like trained seals was just absolutely disgusting. And this is why I'm saying this. I don't want war in Ukraine. I don't want American boots on the ground. I want Putin to just pack his stuff up and go home. But if you look at it, if you take a step back and look at this situation, Russia gave Ukraine an out by just having them remain neutral. So there's the out. So if Zelenskyy was very concerned about his people being killed, he would have taken the out and stayed a neutral.
Well, what he did, okay. For those that are just tuning in, I want to talk about this a little bit because I think it's important. Russia offered a peace plan to Ukraine, which Ukraine rejected without any negotiation, and then added something that they know Russia would never agree to. Okay, so the couple of things that Russia suggested, they want them to recognize Crimea, which I don't know why they don't. It's a done deal, you know. I mean, why would the Seminoles not recognize Florida is part of the United States? It's over. The Seminole Wars are long over and lost. The one thing that I think is open for negotiation is Russia wants to carve out that one area of the Ukraine out in the east and make it independent. Okay, and then thirdly, they want Ukraine to promise to remain neutral like Sweden or Austria, which means they're neutral but can still have an army, but not join any foreign military alliances or allow foreign bases in Ukraine. Ukraine rejected that totally, no negotiations, and then added that they are requiring to become either part of NATO or another military alliance that will back them up if they're attacked in the future. That's the main cause of the Russian illegal attack, is they don't want them in NATO. And so Zelenskyy obviously is not interested in ending this conflict, or he wouldn't have thrown in that condition that he knows Russia will never agree to.
If I was Zelenskyy, I would take all the money that the West is throwing at him, and then I would get as far away from the West as I could. And this is why. Because we were the ones that talked them into disarming their nukes. So aside from throwing money at them, what have, helping them militarily, NATO has pretty much laid their cards out, where they're essentially saying, well, we're not going to help you. So what's the point? But if he really wanted the conflict to end,
that was a good pizza, Rob.
He would have taken the deal yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a media fabricated superhero.
Mm-hmm.
Performance yesterday just proves it.
Yeah. Do you agree with me that he looks like Fidel Castro, Zelenskyy?
Yeah, and think about that for a minute. Why would you want to model yourself after someone like that, after what he did to his people?
No, it was a theatrical performance. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not questioning the legitimacy of the images he showed. They were pretty dramatic and disturbing, as they were meant to be. The most disturbing part, though, was watching everyone in Congress applaud this guy like they just saw the ending of the greatest Broadway show ever. I felt like Nancy Pelosi had just finished watching the debut performance of Hamilton or something. She was so excited.
Well, I would love to see Dr. Zelenskyy do a compilation of all the bizarre behavior of Nancy Pelosi lately and diagnose.
I am not diagnosing Nancy Pelosi. I do not know, but to me, she looks like someone who's hooked on prescription medications. The way she behaves is that at the State of the Union, when she rubbed her hands together, really strangely, and I've watched some of her slurring of the words and everything, and it's she's on something. It looks like to me.
Oh well, exactly. But when she stood up at the State of the Union and did that weird hand thing about the burn test, that's a very clear. To me, it seemed like a very clear tell that she was upstaging Biden.
I think she was just out of it and got overly excited in whatever mental state that she's in.
But if you think about it, she did it with Trump when she tore up the State of the Union. So,
yeah.
Love to see Dr. Zelenskyy just assess all of those bizarre behaviors.
Oh yeah.
There's something wrong with all of them.
Well, they're excited because they want the money. That's what they're excited about. They want the money. They found a path to get their agenda through. That's what they're excited about.
But I also think it's very funny and very telling that Lindsey Graham is calling for assassination.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple things here about Lindsey Graham. I mentioned these in the first hour. I think they're important. Lindsey Graham came out yesterday and called for the removal from office, by any means necessary, of Putin. And a story came out late yesterday that Lindsey Graham on January 6th wanted Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment and remove President Trump from office. Yeah. I'll pull up the story and go through it in a bit. But, yeah.
Disgusting. Helped him get reelected.
I want Lindsey Graham question about that and to confirm or deny it. I'd like one reporter to ask him to confirm or deny that report, because I find that disturbing. And if that is confirmed, I don't think he'll deny it if it's true, because he's not totally stupid. Remember. He never liked Trump, not just because he was a fanboy of John McCain's, but remember when President Trump gave out his phone number or something? Remember, what did President Trump do with Lindsey's phone number, with his cell phone, and then Lindsey Graham did a commercial with his phone in the blender? Something happened during the primaries in the first campaign, with Lindsay and Trump with the phone. I can't remember exactly what. Do you remember, Andrea? He gave out Lindsay's phone number or something on Twitter, maybe? Something. He did something with the cell phone. No, I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
Did. Oh my God. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he did, because Trump is just a savage like that.
Yeah. All right, Andrea, take care. I got to run. All right. Conservative Doug.
Good morning, Conservative Doug. Okay. You know, first of all, Nick from Baltimore said that it was an infomercial, and Andrew just said it's theatrical. I agree. You know, it was sad to watch, you know, with this terribleness that's going on there. But then again, who knows how much is real and how much is not real? When we saw the chemical attacks, what was it, in Syria a couple of years ago, One American News said that was all a con job. That was all paid actors doing that. So who knows how bad it is. But if Russia is offering to get out, they should say, yeah, get out. Okay, let's go out. And then after either Putin is going to be removed or something, then they can always change their story.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see them get massacred over there, if they are getting massacred as they're showing.
Of course they're getting massacred. Of course Ukrainians are getting massacred. I'm suspect of the breadline massacre story, though. That one seems to be a little too much.
Bombing his office. You know, if the guy is around, they're bombing everything, but Zelensky's office. You know, something's not right.
That's right.
All due to this money. I think the government is telling.
Do you think? What do you agree with me that Zelenskyy looks like Fidel Castro?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
This is something that I don't like. You should take that Russian deal, and then after the Russian, well, he changes his mind later on. He can change his mind later on.
Indeed.
He doesn't have to agree tomorrow.
Hey, listen, I gotta run for a break, Doug. Great call. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 45 years on the radio this year. The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stacy from Deerfield Beach. This is
Let me find that Lindsey Graham story. Steve Kane Show. He's got. Yep, here, I got the Lindsey Graham 25th Amendment story.
Champagne Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was, when I brought it to the dealership, they were like, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. And when I heard about Champagne Automotive, I called when I got there, and I said, he goes, well, I already ordered the oil filter.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. And so I dropped it off. I don't have many people to take me back home, and so he ordered Uber for me.
Wow.
Yes.
That's service. Thank you for the call as well, and anyone else out there, you know, Champagne Automotive Repair, their prices are great. They'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive. And thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 37 minutes after the hour is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Scott from Kiev. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good morning. How you doing today, Brian?
All right.
Hey, Zelensky's speech, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the greatest. I actually thought his speech to UK Parliament was a little better. But, I mean, what do you expect? He's a despot, you know. His country's being bombed. He's reaching out to everybody. If it wasn't for international help, Ukraine would have lasted as long as it has already.
Well, yesterday, this is what let me just run this by you. Russia offered a peace proposal, and I know it was not perfect, but Zelenskyy threw something in, rejected it on the face of it with no negotiating, and then added an addition that he knows Russia will never agree to. He wants NATO to agree to defend Ukraine in the future if attacked. He knows that Russia will never agree to that. Why did Zelenskyy just reject a peace proposal without even trying to negotiate something, and then add something that he knows Putin will never agree to?
Because there were non-conditions to begin with set by Russia, because Ukraine's already said it will not concede Donbass or Crimea. So Putin also put in there something that he knew that Ukraine would have.
Okay, hold on. Crimea's done. I mean, that's Russia. That's not coming back. I mean, you know, that's it. Now, the other region over there, that's what I would consider a negotiation point. Okay, that's what I believe he should negotiate, recognize Crimea, but not the independence of the region. But to throw this other thing in, to me, is just to, you know, the country's on the verge of collapse.
Russia said that no military bases or military equipment or U.S. military in country. So you talked about...
No. He didn't say no military equipment. No. No, the Russian plan did not say no military equipment. It said no foreign military bases in Ukraine. No foreign military bases in Ukraine, not equipment. That's different. Yeah, but they could in the future. You know, if they became, you know, so he wanted a guarantee that they won't join any alliances, will remain neutral like Sweden and Austria, he said, which means they can maintain a military, and no foreign bases in Ukraine. I think those three things are reasonable.
I mean, are you going to trust? Are you going to trust a peace deal?
Well, if your country, see, this is what's going on. Zelenskyy believes that he's going to get... He was pushing hard to the Congress yesterday about this no-fly zone, trying to guilt them into it. The no-fly zone is the beginning of World War III. That's it. I mean, that's it.
I fully agree with Zelenskyy. We're already in the beginning of World War III.
No, he's trying to frame it that way. This is not yet World War III. World War III, no. If we do what Zelenskyy wants and establish a no-fly zone and start shooting down Russian fighter planes, then we would have World War III, and then you could say that the start of World War III was the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But we're not in World War III yet. But I think Zelenskyy wants us to be.
All it takes is one straight bullet. Hey, I also disagree with that he looks like Fidel Castro. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. The guy's in the middle of a war trying to save his people when you guys are talking about what he's wearing. It's kind of...
Well, because he was wearing eyeliner. Hold on. He was wearing eyeliner and makeup. Other makeup.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah, that's... And what I'm telling you is the Fidel Castro beard and get-up is a theatrical display. That's all. That's what it is.
Well, Fidel Castro wore military fatigue.
For the same reason. I was talking about this. Fidel Castro wore military fatigues until the day he died, as did his brother, Raul, because they're always fighting the revolution, right? They were keeping the idea the revolution is always going on. It hasn't ended yet. We're still fighting. I'm in my fatigues. That's why Fidel did that.
Sure. He's not wearing fatigues.
It was. You're saying that had nothing to do with theatrics or imaging. Come on.
I mean, what do you? I just think it's funny. He's bouncing from bunker to bunker, running around. You guys expect him to have a suit on?
Well, I think a suit. I think a suit would have been appropriate for that. Yes. Yeah.
I wouldn't give a damn what I looked like at that point.
But he did. But he did give a damn because no. He did give a damn because he was wearing eyeliner.
You should know this, Brian. Being in the public sphere, when you go on television, you sometimes have to wear makeup and stuff like that to make yourself, I don't know.
So that was theater yesterday.
Theater. I'm saying even our news anchors, when they go on TV, they have people that do makeup and stuff because of the way their skin reflects.
Yeah, but you're saying he didn't have time to put on proper clothing because of the crisis, but he had time for eyeliner.
I think you're getting into an arbitrary, ridiculous argument that has nothing to do with the war.
Well, no. What he was doing yesterday, what he did yesterday, was play on the heartstrings and try to guilt us into getting into a military conflict with Russia. I want Russia out, but not like that.
Also, look at it as not trying to guilt us, but trying to get us to empathize. I mean, think about this. During 9/11. The day it hit, it was one city, 2 buildings were hit, and it paralyzed the country for months on end. They're dealing with that every single day. So him to try to get us to empathize, I don't have a problem with that at all. When he started playing that video, my heart jumped out of my chest before the video even started playing because the first image that came up was the Ferris wheel. That is Hodel District, Contract Motion. That Ferris wheel is 75 feet from the front door of my university. That's right by my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
A month ago, nobody knew where Ukraine was. Now half your callers claim to be Ukrainian experts, and it's a joke because most of them don't know anything about the country still. They just
No, I agree, and I'm not claiming to. I just know this. I want Russia out yesterday, okay? I oppose the entire attack on Ukraine. I know a lot of people try to justify it, not me. I want it over. I want it over as fast as possible, and I do not want the United States or our NATO allies involved in a military conflict with Russia. And, like, for example, okay, this is what really pissed me off yesterday about this thing with Congress. They're proposing, what is it, $300 or $800 billion, this unheard of amount of money, doesn't matter at that level, of military aid for Ukraine. We have all that equipment already. We should just give it to them. They want to wait until they pass a spending bill, and then that spending bill has to result in the government ordering these things and then being delivered. Everything should be put on jets immediately, cargo planes, and flown there. And tell Putin in advance, you shoot down any American aircraft, this is it, and just give it to them. But they're not doing that. They're going through all this red tape. Everything that the United States government is doing is prolonging the situation, not trying to resolve it or save any lives. I mean, General Milley came out with Biden yesterday. General Milley came out with Biden yesterday. I would like to have heard Milley. I don't like Milley Vanilli. He's a jerk. But I would have liked to have heard Milley come out and say, the president has ordered me to send and go through the list. It will be on cargo jets tomorrow on its way to Ukraine. And then Biden comes back and tells Putin, our planes are coming in tomorrow. You better not shoot at them. And that's it. So what I saw yesterday was no leadership or no action. Just a theatrical moment tugging on the heartstrings. That's all that happened yesterday.
But now you just went from Biden's inaction, and then you're putting it back on Zelenskyy. I mean, you just talked about two different conversations there.
Well, Zelenskyy didn't propose what I'm proposing. They're all proposing government spending and money grabs and red tape. Ukraine needs we've got everything already in Europe and with our military. We've got the tanks, the anti-tank weapons, we've got the bullets, we've got the rockets. We just got to give it to them.
I know.
But they're not doing it.
Well, I know, but you're talking about, you're equating what Zelensky's asking for to inactions on the U.S. government. I mean,
Well, he didn't ask for it that way. What he asked for was for the United States and NATO to establish a no-fly zone over Ukraine, which has to be enforced, and you can only enforce it by shooting down Russian jets that violate it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
What did he say? What did he say right after that?
Tell me, I don't know.
He said establish no-fly zone or give us the air defense weapons and anti-tank weapons, and every politician he talks to over in Ukraine says they know nobody's going to come fight for them, but just give them the weapons. And
All right. Hey, Scott, I got to run, Scott, but thanks for the call. Now, I want to, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell everyone about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the great Mike Lindell, who you know stands up for President Trump, stands up for MAGA, stands up for all of us. And Mike Lindell was in an interview a while back, and the interviewer said, what can people do to support you and your efforts to support our President Trump, Mike Lindell? And he said, go to MyPillow and buy something. That's what he said. And of course, we're telling you to do that with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And when you use our promo code KANE, you're supporting Mike Lindell, you're supporting the Steve Kane Show, but you're also getting incredible discounts. The MyPillow 6-piece towel set, normally $109.98. With the promo code KANE, just $39.99. The MyPillow My Slippers, I have these and the towels. The MyPillow My Slippers, the most comfortable slippers you will ever own. Mike Lindell makes that promise, and I'll tell you, it's true too. I have these slippers, 50% off with the promo code KANE. The MyPillow Mattress Topper, which is a life-changing thing, that mattress topper. It's really made me a healthier person because I'm getting full rested night's sleep every night of the week with the MyPillow Mattress Topper. 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. There are many other specials and deals there as well. Use our promo code KANE to take advantage of them. They all make great Mother's Day gifts as well. All right, we'll be back right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
Oh, boy. All right, Steve will be joining us at the top of the hour, and I don't know if the sun's coming up now. Is it still dark, or is it going to be a rainy day? I can't tell looking outside. This time change just sucks. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Great calls today. And I think today's calls, we've been talking about, obviously, for the last 2-3 weeks, the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think out of all the shows we've done these last couple of weeks on this god-awful war, that today's callers, I think the callers have been the most constructive, and there seems to be a meeting of the minds among all sides, at least in this listening audience, over the situation there. Not that we agree with everything. There's a lot of division over Zelenskyy and Ukraine rejecting this peace proposal and adding a condition that Russia will never agree. But it seems to me, and I am very happy, to say that it seems that there's a consensus that Russia is in the wrong and want the victory. Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar is Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. And it's a free Living Trust workshop with Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group. He has his staff with him at these things. It is free. They do ask that you call and make reservations, and they do fill up. They do fill up. And these workshops are very interesting. They're very informative. And call the Siegel Law Group and reserve your spot. It's going to be Tuesday, April 12th in Delray Beach at the South County Civic Center. When you call to reserve your space, they'll give you precise directions. But here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, now I've been talking this week on Saturday. I'm going to go see President Trump, and it's going to be a pretty exciting event. President Trump is doing this American Freedom Tour, and of course he is the prime star speaker. And also speaking at this event Saturday in Fort Lauderdale is going to be Don Jr., Candace Owens, Bongino, Kim Guilfoyle, Sarah Huckabee. So I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, especially President Trump. And I've never seen Don Jr. speak in person, but I've seen him speak before President Trump comes out at rallies, and he is a very powerful speaker and hilarious to listen to. And he's always got something relevant and funny to say, Don Jr., about whatever the current events are. And then, of course, President Trump is the main reason I'm going, and this is not a televised Trump rally, so I don't think you'll be able to see this on television or online. It's a private ticketed event, and I do have tickets, and I bring this up because people have been asking me about this. I do not know if tickets are still available, but there's a website, AmericanFreedomTour.com. If you go to AmericanFreedomTour.com, you can get your tickets, and they're not free. But they do have some lower price tickets and everything else. So go to AmericanFreedomTour.com, and if you're interested in going and register and get your tickets. And if you see me there, say hi. All right? Okay, now it's time. Yes, it is. Can you believe it? It's time already to check in with licensed nutrition counselor Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. You know, sometimes when I'm at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop and people come on in and talk to me and they ask me questions, and so I do a little research, and that expands that realm of substances that I can use to help people achieve their health goals. Well, this is having to do with how we want to look. We want to look our best, and certainly good nutrition is that foundation. But this is really interesting things for growing hair and reducing hair loss. So, someone came in, said that she read essential oils will help to stop hair loss, and I had never heard that. So I did a little research for her, and what do you know? 2 drops of lavender mixed maybe with coconut oil or almond oil, massaged into the scalp just before you go to bed, helps to reduce hair loss. And it doesn't stop there. Rosemary essential oil, the same recipe, 2 drops mixed with a little bit of either coconut or almond oil, massaged into the scalp. Cedarwood, thyme. So here are 4 very, very natural ways to prevent accelerated hair loss for whatever reason it might be. It's so amazing that something that's been around for so many eons, these scents that achieve a specific effect when they are inhaled, they do change our brain chemistry. Now we know, and in my doing the research, I find out exactly how these essential oils work on the hair follicles, work on the chemistry of the scalp. So if any of your listeners are dealing with accelerated hair loss, or just hair loss that they want to be in control and they want to enhance the appearance of their head of hair, by all means, come on in and see me today. I'll be at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop from 12 to 5, so come on for an appointment. Brian?
Yeah, and if you cannot make it into the festival, meaning you don't drive, maybe you're out of town or out of state, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop, they do orders by phone, and of course, the great prices transfer no matter where you are. And here's the number if you'd like to order by phone, 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. And AJ's is easy to find in the festival. The festival is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And AJ's, once you're inside, head back towards the food court. Right before the food court, look west. You'll see the information booth. AJ's is right in front of the information booth. All right, Janet Cimarelli, we will finish out the week tomorrow.
We will. I'll have something good for your listeners.
You always do. All right, take care. Have a great day. Now, Steve Kane will be joining us in the next hour, and we'll continue on the theme we're talking about. And at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. 2 hours down, 1 to go. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Back after this.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Burning or tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance. Muscle symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Attention seniors, protect yourself and your loved ones from losing your hard-earned assets to the government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally. Find out why at Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
Oh, we're back. Steve Kane Show.
You are listening to South Florida's
Steve Kane Show.
running radio show. The Steve Kane Show.
Hold on.
To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now,
All righty. That's right. It is 8:01. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane phones in just a moment. There's a consensus.
The audience has been through some changes since yesterday?
No changes. I think we've just clarified people's positions that's been misunderstood in the last couple of weeks. Zelenskyy rejected a peace proposal by the Russians and added something that he knows the Russians will never agree to. I will. Oh, yeah, my ears are a little. I don't know. These headphones are on too tight. My ears are a little sore, Steve. But okay. Maybe. I don't know. These are the hazards of broadcasting. Sore ears. That's right, from the headphones. No, okay. Russia gave a peace proposal, which of course was just the opening line of a discussion and a negotiation. And some of it was not reasonable, but Ukraine rejected it and then added something that they know Russia would never agree to. Russia's proposal was this. Ukraine recognized Crimea, which they've had for a few years now, so that's a done deal. Crimea is Russia. 2, they wanted Ukraine to recognize that one spot that they carved out and said that's its own country now in the eastern part of Ukraine. That's the second thing they asked for, which obviously that's not reasonable. Russia also asked that Ukraine promise to become a neutral country like Sweden or Austria, where they're allowed to have a military, remain neutral, and not allow foreign military bases in Ukraine. Ukraine rejected that and said no peace agreement unless they have an assurance that they will have an alliance with other countries. They didn't say NATO by name, but with other countries agreeing to back them up if they're attacked again, which they know Russia will never agree to. Without even attempting to negotiate this proposal of the Russians rejecting it, I think was not the right thing for Ukraine to do when they're on the verge of collapse. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, there are obviously a lot of details that I'm...
Well, this is new this morning, so you're hearing it for the first time.
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds to me like neither side is ready to seriously talk.
That's right. And, yeah, that's true.
The question is, after all is said and done, we're back to the same discussion that we had yesterday about who the aggressor is here.
Oh, Russia. No, Russia's the aggressor. No doubt about that. We all agree on that. And we've never not agreed on that. We've agreed.
The bottom line, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, they're the aggressor. They're the aggressor. Oh, yeah.
The bottom line about the righteousness of the...
Yeah. Oh, no. Russia's in the wrong, completely in the wrong. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And I don't think there's ever been any disagreement on it. Do you want to take...
Audience.
Most people agree with what that Russia's the aggressor, and they. I was doing a poll in the beginning, but I stopped doing it because it was just getting too repetitive. Who do you want to? Who? Well, no. Who? No, similar. Who do you want to win the war, Ukraine or Russia? And everyone was saying Ukraine. We didn't have one person who called in and said they want Russia to win. So that was. So. I don't know. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is Bill from Sanford.
Bill, oh, yes. Bill is George Zimmerman's neighbor, Steve, up in Sanford.
Oh, really?
What bothers me is that I don't think the Biden administration or the media want a negotiated deal in Ukraine because they're taking up all the airtime, and there's no airtime for all the gas prices, the empty shelves, the trucking. And they're going to take this through the 22 election. And
yeah.
The media and the Biden administration, whoever they are, don't want this to go.
Okay, well, here's okay. In the history of the United States, a president has never lost re-election during time of war. And there's a lot of, I heard some people talking yesterday, some of the pundits, that Ukraine needs, we already have. They're in Europe with our army. Why don't we just give them our rockets, our anti-tank weapons, our bullets, and replenish our own military and get them the help tomorrow? as opposed to doing this long, drawn-out expenditure thing, this bill that has to go through a process, and then everything has to be ordered, and then delivered to them. They're drawing out the military relief for Ukraine.
I just want to make one comment on that and get your reaction to it. I think the idea that this thing of no sitting president has ever lost in an off-year election, that's not going to save.
Yeah. No, I agree, but they're not being. But the Democrats aren't rational people. They're not thinking that way. If Biden really wanted to help, if Pelosi and all them really wanted to help Ukraine and end this and get things turned around a little bit for them, they would give them all the equipment we already have, as opposed to they just want the spending bill. This is a money grab. They're not, and they're trying for the Democrats, and they're trying. Yeah, and they want to prolong this. Biden could order the army to give the Ukrainian military everything they need today. We already have it. You don't need to pass a bill to do it. He could give it to them. Yes, the jets. Yeah, the jets. And they're not doing any of it. Bullets, rockets, whatever.
Yes, that is absolutely the right way to go.
See, and I'll tell you, I was. Yeah, I know exactly. They're more worried about that, and the problem is with what's going on right now. Yesterday, when Biden, everybody's seen the clip of Biden calling Putin a war criminal in that strange White House cocktail party thing he was at, and you see Biden walk away, and the Secret Service man has his arms around Biden, shuffling him away. It was very strange. Never seen something like that happen with the president. We have no leadership saying, listen, you're going to, when he came out yesterday with Milley, he didn't say he was doing a damn thing, Biden, yesterday, and I would have said, I've just directed
that once Trump gets in, he doesn't need.
But if there's not an independent Ukraine's not going to hold out that long. All right, take care. Tell George Zimmerman he's welcome to call the Steve Kane Show anytime, all right? Next time, if you see him at the mailbox today, all right? Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Boca.
John in Boca. What's up, John?
Congratulations on your 45 years.
Yes.
I want to know what Biden's doing, because he has the Nobel Peace as his partner when they were president.
Yeah.
Negotiators. He's a peace. Palestinians and Israelis.
Steve Kane Show.
In 14 or something.
Steve Kane Show.
Well, and he knows Putin, and he knows the Iranians. He could negotiate.
He sure does. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. By the way, people call me from time to time. A lot of people are annoyed that Steve doesn't say this too much, because I get, I guess it's self-serving for Steve, but I say in and out of every break, you're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio for 45 years. And that seems to tick off a lot of people, Steve. I get so much negativity. I'm sorry, And other radio stations and radio shows, this has been the longest running radio show in Florida for a number of years. This didn't just happen. But I've had people call me, including sales managers, Steve, from other radio stations who think they have the longest running radio show, and they use that as a selling point, and it's been challenged. And now, and by the way, there's a lot of people, they'll say, this is the longest running radio show hosted by a Latina with 8 toes. They got all these, all these disclaimers, Longest running radio show hosted by a gay man. Now, this is the longest running radio show. Every format, every category, anything you can label it with, okay? In the state of Florida, with the same host. So, Steve Kane. So, so now we're going to continue to brag about it. I don't know, Steve. It seems like it upsets people that you're alive and on the air. I don't know why that would piss people off, but it does.
Point them.
I know. Oh my goodness. Do you still have that yellow members only jacket that you were wearing with no shirt on the first time I met you?
Replace that early on in my career with that black.
What Steve looked like, I was telling people at the top that when the first time I met Steve in person was in the radio station lobby. He was wearing a members only jacket, partway zipped up, no shirt underneath, with a very hairy chest. You kind of look like Burt Reynolds in Boogie Nights. And that, well, he was a porn producer though, Steve. But all right, listen, we're going to take a break, though. If you're on hold, stand by. There is only one opening on the board. And when we get back, there's a lot more to talk about, so don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, back after this.
Apathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning,
Steve Kane Show.
in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance?
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show.
The symptoms can make life
Hey, Barry, hold on.
but there is
Steve
help
Kane
at
Show.
the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642
Hold on.
for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. Online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, and Steve, on the line, we have your attorney from the Siegel Law Group, attorney Barry Siegel, who next month has a revocable living trust workshop coming up. Barry, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, Barry. Your workshop's coming up. I was telling people earlier, your Living Trust Workshop is coming up in just a few weeks, and it's free, but people really need to call early and reserve their spot because your workshops fill up.
Yeah, and we're very excited about being back. We had brought back the workshop
A little sneezing fit.
a little bit before Omicron came, and then we felt it was the right thing to shut them down for a little bit, but here we are, we're back, and we're excited to them again, educate people on important estate planning issues. And so right now, registration is open. People can call our office to schedule their reservations to attend. We have very limited space available. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering a lot of the issues related to planning your legacy, making sure that you...
I know, I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't get the mic off in time to sneeze. The mic's right here.
Learning how we can avoid probate, avoid guardianship, set up your documents.
It's allergies.
Leave a mess behind. And for those who attend, we also provide a discount certificate on their planning for those people who come and schedule their...
Wow.
Get a discount as well. So it's a good idea if you're planning to get this done and you want to learn about estate planning. Please come. It's a free workshop, and we'll be very excited to...
Yeah, and, I've attended, as has Steve, many workshops by attorney Barry Siegel. They are entertaining. The time flies by, but they're so informative. And I don't know, Barry, I may have been to about a dozen or so of your workshops. Every one I've learned something new. And I think what you'll find is that whatever eventuality that you could not even imagine your heirs or yourself run into, attorney Barry Siegel has been there, knows about it, and will make sure that that scenario does not have a negative impact on you, your family, or anything else. Now, and Barry announced just now, if you attend this free Living Trust seminar, which is Tuesday, April 12th in Delray Beach at the South County Civic Center, you get a discount certificate. So that's worth going just for that. Now, they do ask that you make reservations, okay, even though it's a completely free event, so they know the size room, the chairs, how many refreshments they need, and all of that. And I would tell you, you really should call now and lock in your space, because what you're going to find at some point, I'm going to put Barry on the line, and he's going to say, we're filled up, I'm sorry. You don't want to miss this. When you call, they'll also give you more detailed directions. Here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, take care. Man, I can't. Tomorrow's Friday already, Steve. It's flying by this week. But, Steve, you callers on hold, stand by the way. You do agree, though, that there's no movement by the United States government to give any type of meaningful help to Ukraine right now when they're on the verge of collapse.
They've gone through the motions of appearing to give a lot
of applause.
What they really need is they're getting killed in this in the war.
Yeah.
Counteract all these missiles that are raining in on them on a daily basis.
Those could be there today.
And then, exactly. So, I mean, just imagine what it must be like for Zelenskyy. Every day he loses more and more citizens because Biden's sitting on his thumbs.
This strange, let me just play this strange revenge porn thing that Biden said yesterday.
We established a new civil rights cause of action for those whose intimate images were shared on the public screen. How many times have you heard? I bet everybody knows somebody somewhere along the line that in an intimate relationship, what happened was the guy takes a revealing picture of his naked friend or whatever in a compromising position, and then literally, in a sense, blackmails or mortifies that person. Sends it out, put it online.
Yeah, well, he's talking about Hunter Biden. He's talking about his son. He's talking about revenge porn. No. No, that was Biden yesterday. He's very concerned about revealing photographs being used to blackmail people. I don't think so. It's been happening for like 2 years, and it hasn't slowed him down a bit. There's been videos and everything else of Biden's son Hunter with prostitutes and drugs, and it hasn't stopped him one bit.
He's when he says things like he just said in that cut, he's appealing to people who don't really know the situation.
I just say that one reason, though, I don't want to get into the details, and please don't mention names, Steve. We don't need to dredge up old feelings and thoughts and throw salt in old wounds and wake up sleeping people. But, well, if you remember, many, many years ago, someone who was a well-known local personality tried to take a photograph of me and very much out of context and tried to intimidate me and really try to blackmail me into doing something. And it was when the internet was new, and I very well it may have been one of the first people ever harassed and cyberbullied over that incident. And it was something else, I tell you what. So I kind of relate a little bit to that. It was not a naked photograph or a sexual pose, but it was a photograph out of context, put in a strange way to try to intimidate me into stop doing something. I went on a trip with, this is when I was about 20 or 21 years old. I went on a trip with a whole bunch of my friends to Orlando. And when you're young, what do you do when you go to a hotel room? You have like this, no, you got to change clothes, Steve. No, it was like, we're in spring break right now, right? And spring breakers are like, what, 15 people to a room? You know what I mean? The hotel room, that's what you do when you're young and, you're with your friends. And I was with a group of friends, including someone who was a girlfriend of mine at the time. And I wasn't changing my clothes like naked. My shirt. I was changing my shirt, and my girlfriend at the time snapped a picture of everybody partying in the room. Two people were angry at me. One person wanted me to stop talking about something on the radio. So they took, and I'm not giving the details because I don't want to bring up any problems with any of these people anymore, because this was like, when the internet was first new. There was no social media or anything. This was back like during dial-up. And they put this photograph, they had a third party put this photograph out of context to make it look like I was getting out of bed with somebody. And they did this to try to get me to stop talking about something on the radio. And they released this out of context photograph about 2 weeks after I'd gotten married. And were trying to also cause problems with my newlywed wife at the time. And so, I kind of, I wasn't like Hunter doing illegal drugs with hookers or anything. So I'm kind of like the Neil Armstrong of cyberbullying. I was one of the first people ever cyberbullied in America, maybe even on the planet. All right, you want to take some calls? All right. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Steve, this is Dan from Coral Springs.
Hey, Dan.
Hey there, good morning, guys. I just, as you guys know, we're starting the fourth week of the Russian-Ukraine war, and a lot has gone on. You hear it all the time on the radio, the no-fly zones, the airplanes, all that. I just wanted to find out that if things were a little different as far as if Putin didn't attack Ukraine as a whole country, but instead did something what he did back with Crimea back in 2014 and taken a portion of Ukraine little by little. And if the strategy was different where, putting the Russian troops from Crimea, from the Donbass region on the east, and then from Belarus from the north, and started little by little, but instead of attacking the civilians and the hospitals, the maternity wards, and so forth, just strategically go after the government, go after the military. If they did that instead, would you think that the emotional impact that we see now with 24/7 coverage from the news outlets, and also you got all the countries going out backing?
Well, wait a minute. Slow down. Wait a minute. I mean, what I hear you saying is if in fact that was the way it played out, the situation would be a totally different situation. Biden, Putin. Hold on.
Slow down, caller.
This is how Putin fights. This is how he has done in previous. This is not a new pattern from him. He is he's Adolf Hitler. Is who he is. He's somebody who's looking. The rate of taking over may be different, but he's looking to take over that whole area. And that's why to sit down and make peace with him is a joke. It's exactly a replay of Churchill and Neville Chamberlain. That's exactly what it is. Hitler wanted to take the all of Europe. He had designs on everybody, but he did it piece by piece, and he did it by terrorizing civilians, and that's what this guy is doing.
Yeah, but that's my question. If he wasn't terrorizing the civilians, but instead going strategically after the military, government buildings, would you think that the United States and the world would be sending billions of dollars of arms and sending billions and billions of dollars of military equipment, or would they just let Putin go on his own?
Well, they're letting Putin go. Here's what's going on, caller. We were talking about this at the start of the hour with Steve. Ukraine is on the verge of collapse. Their people are being slaughtered, and it's getting worse every day because the collapse is near. But all the military equipment they need to help to win, we have. Biden does not need Congress. He could just give it to him, and he's not doing it. They've got everything wrapped up in this spending bill, which takes time. It's got to be debated. It's got to be passed. It's got to go through reconciliation. It's got to go to Biden. Then they got to order the equipment. Then it's got to be delivered to us. Then we got to deliver it to them. This is like something that takes weeks and months, what they're talking about, when they could fly in cargo planes into Ukraine tomorrow and start delivering the help they need, and warn Russia ahead of time. You better not do a damn thing to our planes or you're done. But they're not doing that. Everything's with the spending bill. They're not. They gave a standing ovation for the spending bill, not to give real help that the Ukrainians need yesterday.
I agree with you, Brian. If they really wanted to end it, they have all the equipment out in Europe and the NATO countries. They could just send it over instead of doing like you said, with the spending plan.
Mm-hmm.
Prolonging it, and I'm hoping to God that it doesn't prolong all the way to the midterm to try to influence.
Well, of course, they want to keep this going for a number of reasons.
It's going to get creepy.
Yeah, but will Ukraine be a country then, Steve?
His consistency. He has screwed up so many things in so many areas and got not one thing right. So no matter what, there is no issue that can save him in the midterms. The Democrats are going to get wiped.
Yeah, but will Ukraine still be a country in November? What's going to be left?
So whether we can put the pressure.
You know, Steve, they're saying that Russia's got like 2 weeks left in them. I don't know if that's true or not, but how much time does Ukraine have left in them? I'm not hearing any status reports.
See, I disagree with you. I think Ukraine has a long time, but it's a different kind of battle. They're not going to win the same way. They've got to take it. They've got attrition. They're going to be fighting a guerrilla war in the streets. Is how it's going to go, and it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts for Putin.
Yeah.
He knows that if he doesn't get this thing wound up quick, he's going to end up losing.
You know, the people say that, Steve. Okay, this is the thing, okay? I don't know what kind of casualties the Ukrainian army's taken, but in Iraq, because everyone say, well, this will be like the Iraq insurgency. The Iraq insurgency was made up of two different things. One, the Iraqi army formed into the insurgency, and they had terrorists joining them from terror groups all over the world. I don't think the Ukraine army is going to have enough left of it to form an insurgency, and a bunch of millennial guys and girls with rifles that they were given in a high school gym. I don't think it's going to be the same insurgency that people are talking about here.
Oh, you'd be amazed. The big story in this is the Ukrainians who came through like no one could possibly imagine. I mean, they're not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare, I think, death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, the Ukrainians are winning now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. It looks like Ukraine's on the verge of collapse. They're winning the PR offensive, but they're not winning on the ground. It looks pretty bad to me. What I'm seeing looks like collapse. By the way, thanks for the call. Now, that caller was calling us from Coral Springs, and of course, Coral Springs is where Wings Plus is located. You know, Wings Plus, Wings Plus has been here with the Steve Kane Show. Do you know they've been with us advertising on the Steve Kane Show since 2008? Did you know that? Since 2008. Yeah, I remember we did an all-night live show in 2010 during the Tea Party takeover of Congress, and it was catered by Wings Plus on Sample Road. That was in 2010. So, yeah, and I'll just give you the Reader's Digest version of this. If you remember Reader's Digest, you'll get what that means, of how they became a sponsor of the program. I am a Wings lover, and I always have been. And I was eating at Wings Plus for years before they were a sponsor of the show. And Wings Plus, the Sample Road location, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample in Coral Springs, was just down the street from our Coral Springs radio studio that we used to broadcast from. And I would tell Steve, you got to stop off at Wings Plus. You got to stop off at Wings Plus. But we get off the air at 9, and they weren't open yet. And one day you came back for a meeting, and you stopped in to Wings Plus. You had a basket of wings. The next day you came in with the menu from Wings Plus, and we were doing spots for them ever since. And that was 2008. So, and let me tell you, their wings are not only the most spectacular wings you've ever had, no matter which type you get, because they have many different styles and flavors. Everything at Wings Plus on Sample Road is homemade right there on the spot. That includes all the wing sauces are homemade right there on the spot. Nothing comes out of a can at Wings Plus. Oh yeah, that's Steve's favorite's the lemon pepper, which are out of this world. I love the lemon pepper. My favorite go-to though is the medium hot wings. I've had all the levels up to the hottest. The medium hot is the sweet spot for me, but you will love the wings at Wings Plus. And let me tell you, we have listeners that live out of state. They visit Florida on vacation. They go to Wings Plus and have a meal. It's and they all tell me, oh man, it's unbelievably incredible, and it is, and you'll love it too. So Wings Plus on Sample Road, again, about a mile west of University, south side of Sample in Coral Springs. And when you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Radio Show.
Here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous
Steve Kane Show.
erection injection, an extremely effective
Hold on.
treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function.
Yeah, money laundering in Ukraine. Everybody in the government's laundering money in Ukraine.
In one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Attention seniors, protect yourself and your
Steve Kane Show.
losing your hard-earned assets to the
Hold on.
government, attorneys, and greedy in-laws. You are invited to attend Attorney Barry Siegel's Living Trust Seminar. It's free and will be held Tuesday, April 12th from 2 to 3 p.m. at the South County Civic Center in Delray Beach. All living trust plans are not created equally.
Oh, that's awesome, Bill.
At Attorney Barry Siegel's free Living Trust Seminar. To make your reservation for this free Living Trust Seminar, call the Siegel Law Group right now. Toll free 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Seating will be limited, so call now to reserve your seat. 1-855-352-3782. 1-855-352-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
Hey, Steve, before we get back to the calls, one of our listeners in the YouTube live chat room, Bill, he said I drove down Tuesday to Wings Plus, had the wings, medium hot, and a bowl of chili, loved both, and got 3 DeSantis 2022 hats. So Wings Plus has the DeSantis 2022 re-election for governor hats in stock. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, hey, Joellen.
So I am totally against the United States going into boots on the ground there, and I totally agree with you when you say it's a money grab with all this money that we're throwing at them. They had said before if they couldn't get through the Green Deal through, that they were going to start getting it through other ways. So I guess this is a great opportunity for them. And you know what I find is so disgusting is that these people are talking about, these Democrats, talking about killing all these babies and all the babies being killed. Well, what about all the babies being killed with abortion?
No. This is the mistake you're making, Joe Allen. You're trying to use logic when talking to liberals.
Yeah, yes, I am.
I mean, think about it. You know, they've given how many billions they're giving to Ukraine this week on a dime. They won't give 10 cents to secure our border while they're securing Ukraine's border. I mean, you can't talk logic to liberals. It's just Tucker Carlson had that woman on last night that he had a field day with. That lady Congresswoman, the Democrat. It was pretty good. Oh man, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, I'm sure they'll play clips of it on Fox during the day.
Yeah.
It was that good, yeah.
We were watching it. We were watching the replay of Zelenskyy, and I said to my brother-in-law, I said, This guy, he looks like he just came out of like a beauty shop or something. You know, he was, although a beard, very clean shaven, everything. So
He had eyeliner on. He was wearing eyeliner, Zelenskyy. He had eyeliner on.
no, but you know, it's like, you know,
You're off mic, Steve. You're off mic, Steve.
not being able to target him. I don't know.
Listen, it was a theatrical production, no doubt about it. Do you think he looked like Fidel Castro?
No.
Well, I don't know about.
Well, he was in a get-up.
I said to my brother, I said, what is with that green
brown
t-shirt? Looks like he just got out of a gym.
Well, he's with the army. He's fighting with his men. That's what that look is for. He doesn't have time to put on a suit. He's in the foxhole. All right, but he is living the actor's dream. Audiences around the world are giving him standing ovations every time he talks to them.
He's wrong.
No, he kind of gets. I'm not saying that he's wrong on everything. Well, he's wrong when. Well, what he's doing, he did suggest something that's very wrong. He's trying to get us to establish a no-fly zone, which would be the beginning of World War III.
No, that's not correct. He understands, I think at this point, the no-fly zone is a wish from long ago. What he's doing now is trying to get the planes. If he can get the planes, he's got people that will fly the planes.
Mm-hmm.
That the anti-Zelenskyy forces are spreading around and are just not.
Well, I think, yeah.
Out of the way.
I think what
we need is the planes. All they got to do is leave them with
the plane. But what he did yesterday was a show and a performance, right? I mean, the look and the clothes are a costume. I mean, would you agree with that?
No.
Okay. All right.
Prefer him in a suit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see him put on something else.
I ask you, is this lady called as
Joellen? She wasn't anti-Zelenskyy.
Of course, would
he put on
worrying about the way Zelensky's dressing and using that as a negative thing against him.
Yeah.
Is anti-Zelenskyy.
Okay. No. All right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Charlene in San Francisco.
Charlene, up early in San Francisco. Nancy Pelosi's.
I'm actually on the west side, so I have a different congressperson. But
she doesn't want any connection to Pelosi.
Not really. She actually looks a lot better in person, I have to say.
When's the last time you've seen her?
Oh, probably 6 years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
I know, as we age as women. But I actually thought he looked good. He actually looked like a tech bro. That's how
He looked like a what? A what?
A tech. He looked like a tech worker.
Oh, a tech worker.
In San Francisco. They wear T-shirts. They're very casual, even if they have executive positions. It's hard to tell the difference between professionals here and the homeless, the way they look.
That's true. That's true.
Son is 29, and the only time he wears a suit is if he attends a wedding.
You know, listen, I'm wearing a T-shirt and jeans right now. I mean, but I'm not the president of a country.
That's true, but I think he was trying to just project that image of being kind of cool, young and cool.
I think he's trying to.
With that?
He's trying to look like a Fidel Che Guevara character, Steve.
He's not a Fidel.
A Che. He wants to look like Che.
He's a military leader. Amazing what he's been able to do over there.
I think the PR aspect, I think, is fantastic.
What was the situation in which you were in the presence of Nancy Pelosi in person? Local bar? What was it?
No, she actually doesn't drink, which
I know. She's completely sober.
She is, yeah.
That's an interesting thing. But when I don't think she's. I've been watching her lately. They say she doesn't drink, but do you think she takes prescription medications?
Yes, I'm sure she takes something. I think she's almost 80, so I'm...
No. Wait, no. We all take... I'm talking about 103.
She's about 80.
Listen, in the last year and a half, she's had a serious decline. Her behavior on TV... Yeah.
Senile living?
To me, she looks like she's taking like Xanax or something. That she really shouldn't be taking.
She's taking a combination of things.
An anti-anxiety. You sure you're not a Pelosi supporter in San Francisco? Because you're getting defensive of her.
No, I love San Francisco. I've never lived anywhere else, so I do.
You still love it?
I'm not defensive of her. I just, I'm not really a partisan person. I'm an independent, so I try to be fair to everybody.
Even Pelosi?
I do know her faults, so.
Yeah, what are they?
Well, thank you for your call.
Can you give us one of her faults? Give us one of her faults. Hey there.
She doesn't try to understand other people in other areas of the country.
Yeah, because she's too rich. She's a snob.
She doesn't try to understand.
She thinks. Listen, if you're not a San Francisco person like you, Pelosi thinks we're all poor white trash married to our cousins. Yes.
People that do that.
She's a snob. Yeah. Hey, listen. Thanks for the call. We got to run, but appreciate the call from San Francisco. All right. It is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the look at the gold and precious metals market for today. William Youngerman, good morning. How are the metals looking?
Metals are looking good, Brian. We got that great buying opportunity in. The metals went down and tested that $1,900 support level, and it held very well the last couple of days. A lot of buying taking place, which has been really good for the precious metals markets and giving us all opportunities to jump in at some lower prices. Yesterday we saw gold close up $9.10 at $1,927.20 the ounce. Silver closed up 10 cents at $24.95, while platinum was up $32 at $1,014, and palladium lost $26 at $23.30. This morning we see the rally continuing in gold. Overnight trading between $1,923 and $1,948. Right now at $1,939 the ounce. That's up another $11.80. Silver up 20 cents at $25.25 the ounce. Platinum up $1 at $1,015, and palladium up $45 at $2,375. So silver holding very well around that $1,910 support level, and I think that we have maybe seen the lows for now, and we should be building our way back up to that $2,000 number. Oil also back up over $100 a barrel, up $5 today, back up over $100 a barrel also.
So you're saying this morning we're over 1,900 on gold, over 25 on silver, and just over 1,000 on platinum. That everything, this is buying opportunity still. Yeah. Now, when it comes to gold, of course, you recommend the 1 ounce coin denomination. Is that the most popular? What you would recommend?
Yeah, 1 ounce. 1 ounce gold bars. We sell a lot of 10 ounce gold bars.
Oh. And same goes for silver. And silver is also, available in the 1 ounce coin size, and which you can purchase. But also, you talk sometimes in the silver about the 10 ounce bars, and those are actually a good buy.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we have 10 100 ounce silver bars for some of our clients that buy thousands of ounces at it.
Yeah, those 1 ounce silver bars. I saw one over at your store when I was last over there, and they're big and they're beautiful. Those 100 ounce bars, they're absolutely amazing. Listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10. You can stop in, located right here in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or give them a call directly after 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, let's take a call or two. And I did get the message from Lori, Steve. I will not forget. Don't worry. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Dave from Melbourne.
Dave from Melbourne. What's up?
Hey, well, here's the deal. First of all, if Zelenskyy, his number one rule, or I think anyways, should be to protect his people and stop this crap as soon as possible. So to put something in there that the Soviets completely won't want is not really very good.
You mean the Russians? The Soviets are the Soviet Union has not existed for decades now. You mean Russia?
But, well, you know, who can keep track of them? They change every 20 years or something.
Yeah, I guess.
I understood it. Anyhow, so yeah, they probably shouldn't give up any of their land. If there are Russians in there, they don't like Ukraine, they can move back to Russia. Bye. So that should be non-issue. But to continue this, I think he needs to protect his people. And the other thing I want to say is, I'm sure you all know about CGI and all this stuff. His presentation yesterday was very slick. It could be anything from selling, cars or whatever. And maybe some of it was true, maybe some of it wasn't.
Nah, I'm not going to go that far. Listen, Zelenskyy comes from the world of television. In fact, his television show that made him a star, that he started right before he became president, where he plays the president of Ukraine, I read this morning, has just been released on Netflix. And I'm going to take a look at that and see. I'm curious. But obviously, Zelenskyy has some of his TV people with him. There's nothing wrong with that. That's something that helps him. Kennedy did the same thing. So I'm not going to use that against him. I would expect his presentation on television to be a little more slick than someone else because that's his background. That's why the eyeliner, the makeup, the costume, the video presentation. That's his TV background. If Steve and I were making a radio address, you would expect the radio address to be a little bit better than maybe what somebody else would do. So those images were real, and they were disturbing. And I think they were almost too disturbing though for daytime TV. The children in the hospital, that was hard to watch.
It's what's going on.
If he wants to protect his people, he should be more trying to negotiate stuff.
I agree with you. I agree.
You say the same thing if it was Adolf Hitler? That sounds like...
But this isn't Hitler. This isn't Hitler. This is not Hitler, though.
Hitler.
All right. Oh, okay.
In fact, right there you pinpoint the difference between the two perspectives. This is a guy who is a megalomaniac who wants territory. He wants to take over. He wants to reconstitute the.
Yes.
Going to stop till he gets it piece by piece by piece.
Maybe.
Another subject, just so that you guys know, I just got onto the American Freedom Trail website. There are seats available, apparently, it looks like from $9 to $995.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one free on 2 price points.
Yeah, that's the Trump event this weekend. I do have tickets. I will be there. I will be there on Saturday to see our president, President Trump. I'm very excited. Yeah. All right. And take care. Thanks for the call. And if you can go, you should. Seeing President Trump in person is an experience. I've been in his presence many, many times, and it's electrifying. And he's different in person. He looks different and sounds different in person than he does on television. He's a lot bigger in person than he looks on television, and he's very pleasant. And when he looks at you, it's like he's looking just at you. It's pretty good. Now, we got to tell everyone out there who's suffering from neuropathy about the Lighthouse Medical Center, Steve. Now, tomorrow, it'll be 2 weeks since you began your neuropathy treatment at Lighthouse Medical Center, and you've been just raving about it.
About 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm telling you, this is an interesting thing. Part of the thing you do at home of the procedure, and I do it while I'm on the air, some of it.
Yeah.
They told me there was, what I heard around was that neuropathy was this incurable thing.
That's right.
True at all, and if you suffer from it, it's a horrible, horrible thing. neuropathy, and there is help available. And the Lighthouse Medical is really the place to go. You're going to love these people. They are great. It's a business that has its roots generations here in South Florida.
In fact, Lighthouse Medical Center is a family practice, and the same family of physicians have been operating Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano for 75 years. These are one of the founding families of Broward County, in fact.
All this stuff that you hear about neuropathy that you can't, it's incurable and all this kind of stuff. Believe you me, there is help available. You don't have to suffer. And the worst part about neuropathy is it's a thing that if you don't tend to it, it does progressively get worse. This is a way to avoid that and to get back to the old life you used to enjoy before.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, you know more about this than I do, Steve, because you're getting the treatment. But I went over to the Lighthouse Medical Center with Steve after his initial consultation for his second appointment. And the entire staff over there, they really care about what you're going through. I mean, they really do. They want to make you better. And you told me you saw results after the first treatment for your neuropathy, which is amazing.
Amazed at how quickly it kicked in. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
The whole program, go over, find out about it. They give you, when you mention the Steve Kane Show, they give you your entire consultation. They do an extensive presentation for you and show you how the thing works and how you can be free of that, what you had thought was chronic pain that was going to be with you for the rest of your life. Not so, thanks to Lighthouse Medical.
Yeah, I do. Now,
you want to run into me? I have my treatments on Tuesdays.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you the number. Now make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio, on the Steve Kane Show, so you can take advantage of that no-charge consultation, all right? 754-222, that's 3 2s, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com. And if you go to stevekaneshow.com, if you missed that number and that information, all of our sponsors are listed on the sponsor page at stevekaneshow.com. And give them a call, 754-222-6642, and say goodbye to your neuropathy, all right? Okay, Steve, we're out of time. You got 10 seconds to sign us off.
For joining us, we'll wind up the week tomorrow. Brian will be here at 6 a.m. and we'll pick up where we left off. And until that time, until my
1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, that's it, guys. Hey, listen, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone else, please like the video and click the notification bell. That helps me out so much. All right, guys, I got to run. My name's Brian. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.